Okay, good morning. Let's get
Good morning.
started.
Good morning.
Let me call roll here. Alexa Anderson. Did I say Alexa? No.
Not
Heather
yet.
Bout,
I am here.
you're here. Uh, Peter Fishalis.
Here.
Morning, Peter. Don Garelio.
Yes.
Present.
See you. Andrew Herchick. Don't see Andrew. Okay. Tim Holt.
Present.
Great. Morning, Tim. Lori Hunter. Yep.
Good morning. I don't believe Alexa's going to make it, and I know Andrew's traveling, so he may not make it either.
Okay, thank you. Mark Howell.
Present.
Uh, Pat Nelson is here. Chris Popov.
Present.
Yep. Charlie Parker.
Here.
Matt Root. No, not yet. Okay. And Steven Stashewski. Yes, I see Steven. Okay, good morning. So before we just start our order of business, I just want to thank Matt and Charlie for putting together a really wonderful explanation of our sustainability efforts at the middle school. And it's really remarkable that we were able to accomplish as much. When I was reading your report, Charlie, it was, wow, all the things that we struggled over, and we've been able to accomplish this. So very well written. I hope that a lot of people read it and are amazed as well.
And Pat, for those who haven't seen that and are wondering what you're talking about, I was going to mention communications too, because it hasn't actually been posted yet.
Okay, well, then
So-
let's just go to the approval of the meeting minutes, and then we'll just forget I said anything.
No, I agree. I was going to say the same thing, and thank you, but I just wanted to clarify for those of you sitting there thinking, what is she talking about?
What is she talking about? Okay, did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes from February 13th? And were there any comments or concerns? Seeing none, do I hear a motion to approve those minutes?
You do.
Okay, and a second?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Heather?
Yes.
Alexa's not with us. Peter Fishalis?
Yes.
Don Grelio? Don,
think
you're
she
muted, but I
said yes.
assume that you want to approve the minutes?
Sorry, I said yes, probably too quickly.
Okay. Okay. Andrew Hercheck's not with us. Tim Holt?
Yes.
Lori Hunter?
Yes.
Mark Howell?
Yes.
Pat Nelson, yes. Chris Popov?
Yes.
Charlie Parker?
Yes.
Matt, has Matt joined us? No. And Steven Stashewski.
Yes.
Okay. Correspondence and communication, Heather.
Okay, we just had 2 emails since our last meeting, which were so nice to receive. They were both basically thanks and congratulations for getting the building open, which is a big celebration in this meeting as of since last time. We got one from Wilson, who congratulated us on such a smooth process, and also from Carrie Rankin, the chair of the school committee, thanking us for all the work and dedication, and for both of them for getting this in on time and so far under budget, which is really nice that people are noticing and mentioning that. So thank you for those. Then I will just do a quick update on communications. We did a bunch of outbound push the week that the school was opening, which was fun. We rode Justin's train of communication too, and reposted a bunch of what he did, which was really fun. One of my favorites was the therapy dog video of the school, which was great to get out. We also did a bunch of our own, the Concord Bridge did a couple of nice articles over the past few weeks as the school was opening and then opened. The town has been great about reposting what we put out too. So it's been really nice getting the word out that the school has opened and it's looking good. And like you said, Pat, Charlie and Matt, together with Martine, and they both give Charlie most of the credit, but the three of them have put together a sustainability summary that is really incredible. And so I'm excited for everybody to get to read it. It really gets into what were our goals for sustainability here, how did we get there, and what have we accomplished. And it's clear and easy to read, even for someone like me. So it will hopefully be on our website soon, and then we will send it out to our distribution lists. And then the point of doing kind of a full one with a lot of detail was also that we can then take that and make kind of shorter versions of it for whatever venues are appropriate. So we'll be sending it out to lots of people, and we can do, you know, shorter snap versions if necessary. But it is a great document, and it is just about, I think, ready for the final version. I think it's the final version. We just don't have it as a final. And as soon as we have
All
the
I need
final,
to
we
do
will
is
put it
take,
online.
all I need to do is take the watermark off, that's all.
There we go. We'll take the
Okay.
watermark off and we will get it on the website soon and sent out to our distribution lists. So thank you, Charlie, for doing that, and to Matt and Martine for their input. But really, really great to have that. And you will all see it soon. I think that's the high level. Any other questions? I'm obviously happy to answer, but I don't want to take too long.
I ran into Dakota from the bridge, and he was asking me when the open house for the community would start, and they're very interested in continuing to cover it, which is really nice to have
It's great.
the bridge so engaged in this.
Yeah, very much.
So Pat, on that note, I want to be sure this committee hears, we've set the date for the formal ribbon cutting, et cetera, for Saturday, May 3rd. We decided to get past the 250th and be sure the auditorium's complete and all of that. You'll get formal invitations, but I want you to get that on your calendars, especially at a busy time of year in the spring.
Great. And are we blocking morning or afternoon? Is that
Morning, yeah,
Morning.
we haven't actually picked the time yet, but it'll be morning for sure.
Morning. Okay. Good to know. Thank
Great.
you.
Great. Okay, OPM.
Great, thank you. I'm going to share my screen here. Should be pretty brief this morning. So we've got financial update of a few change orders to go through, and then construction progress. Just keeping that brief as well. So I will jump right into it. Oops. Let's start with page 1. So budget summary. On the construction side, we've got 87.1 million committed, including all change orders to date. For construction, we've got forecasted 279,000 of pending changes. I believe that this includes, Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong, some of the additional asbestos material that we've encountered on site.
Right.
Yep. So that's being forecasted. Not forecasting beyond that any other potential future claims by CTA, but we do have what we know captured so far. So we've got expenditures to date at 76 million, and we've got a balance of 11.1. That does not include February's requisition that's currently being finalized. So that'll hit that expenditure soon. So don't think there's any real changes to A&E services, admin, or OPM. FF&E, we've just continue to have expenditures hit the FF&E lines. So we've got You know, for FF&E, we've got a balance of 259 that we need to, I'm sorry. We have a balance of 1.2 that we still need to pay out to vendors, and technology, we've got about 400,000 that we still need to pay out to vendors. So what else? So from a total all-in committed cost, we've got 103.6 for committed to date. We've got a little over 89 million for expenditures to date. So balance of 22.5 of the $111.5 million budget. So any questions? Good. Cash flow, just projecting out through the rest of this year and spilling a little into 2026, but balancing everything out through the month of March, and then just projecting forward the remaining costs for the various buckets. So we've got OPM and commissioning, designer and consultants, FF&E, and all the miscellaneous fees, and then construction and contingency. So this is what our graph looks like currently. So we'll keep climbing the hill here and kind of taper off at the September 12th completion date for phase 2. Contingency usage, still have a healthy amount of contingency. 51% remaining for the construction contingency, 67% remaining for soft cost contingency. So about 2.3 million for construction and 583,000 for soft costs. Quite a bit of activity on the TRC log here. So these are the recent commitments. So we've got a number of commitments related to kind of miscellaneous technology items. We've got a few change orders to go over for CTA. Got some snow removal services and a few other furniture items here as well. Some testing related to wastewater. I think that's pretty much it for commitments. So and then as far as budget adjustments, it's really just the CTA change orders, and then a budget adjustment for lecterns as well for furniture. And then these are the invoices that we've paid since we last met. So we've got, again, a pretty big variety of vendors here, from FF&E technology, Lero Hill, AKF commissioning, SMMA. Starting to see some of the town's project management services being paid out towards the commitment that was pre-approved by the committee. And the moving company was a big one this month. We paid the movers for their very successful move that they did. So we had about 762,000 of payments since we last met. And then again, the CTA requisition is about it's currently in progress. So any questions?
I heard you say the word asbestos. Can you just say a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So, you know, when you survey the project, you know, we had an environmental consultant that went through the building and tried to find all the hazardous materials in the building, and they do their best to do that. You know, they always come back at the beginning of abatement and kind of resurvey and just make sure that they've captured everything. So there was some discovered conditions, and you know, usually that is related to being able to do more destructive testing. So they really had to open up some of the exterior walls and find some of these conditions. So they're literally like breaking out chunks of the wall, breaking out brick, things you can't do really when a building's occupied. So that's mainly what it is. Some I think it was some flashing and other waterproofing materials that they found in the exterior, around the exterior of the building.
Thank you.
Yep. Moving on to change orders. So we've got 4 to look at today, and I'll hand it over to Jen to go through these. So this is change order number 43.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. So this change order is just a couple smaller change orders. One for we revised a detail for a trench drain, which we have some significant slopes around the building. So these are just as they drain towards the building, we just wanted to beef up that drainage detail a little bit. So just some minor additional costs of about $3,770. The next 2 are related to the elevator. Because the elevator had not been finally inspected when the furniture was being installed, we had to incur some costs for an elevator operator. Before an elevator is inspected, you need to have an operator actually run the elevator for safety and reasons. So there were some additional costs for that, which totaled $16,541. And then the next one was just in order to get the inspection timely and before the school opened, there were just some additional costs paid for to get that inspector at overtime charges. So just minor $1,272. So this change order totals $21,584.69. Are there any questions on this change order? Okay. Next one is change order 44. And this is exclusively just the regular Saturday premium time work, which we had agreed with CTA to authorize so that we could ensure that we occupied the building when we did, and we did successfully. So this totaled $39,223.53. Any questions on 44? Okay. Next one is change order 45, just 2 minor changes here. Just some PCO 115 was some additional acoustical fabric that we added, just working out the final details of, we have an eyebrow over the proscenium of the stage to screen some of the speakers. And it just, as we detailed it out, finally just had some additional costs for paneling there of $2,675. And PCO 116 is just as we coordinated finally the fire alarm systems with the fire protection. It just required an additional module in the fire pump room. So that was $1,441. So this change order is a total of $4,117.32. Any questions? All right, and then the last one is change order 46. PCO 112 was our original detailing had some mesh screens in all of the team commons areas. Once, when they initially put up the first panel, we collectively as a team made a decision to remove those, just not feeling that fit with the the ultimate goal of the design. So we did make we did remove the mesh screens, but then we have an area where we have some shelving where instead of having the mesh screen, we're installing glass there. So this cost is really just to add the glass panels. There is another PCO that will be forthcoming that will be a credit to remove the mesh screens. So that will offset hopefully most of this additional cost here, which is $14,628.44. And then PCO 112 is just patching a wall. As we're moving furniture in, there was a couple of sound panels that were in conflict, so we removed them and we had to patch the wall. That's $893.32. Any questions on change order 46? All right,
Thank you, Jen.
thank you. Yep, thanks.
So construction update, just keeping it to a page here. So phase one, we are on the other side of the finish line. So as you know, we achieved the temporary certificate of occupancy on the 14th of February. So we've locked in that date as the date of substantial completion for phase one. We achieved the target of moving in, getting everybody in the building on 2/24 for the first day of classes. So huge success there. And then, things that are still happening in the building. Punch list is in progress. They're trying to find windows of opportunity here and there to work on punch list. There's going to be a big push during April vacation, and then wrapping everything up this summer with punch list in the building. So auditorium is the other space that we're anxiously awaiting completion on. So they're projecting sometime in April, hopefully early April, for completion of the auditorium. They've got a remaining work list, a few things that need to be completed. So they need to hang the curtains in the stage. They have to finish the stage flooring. They've done all the subflooring in there, but they needed to get some of the overhead work done before they could put the final layer of flooring down. They're doing some adjustments to the seating and connecting the lighting, the integral lighting in the seats. So they're working through that. And then it's really just fine tuning of some of the sound and stage lighting and features in this space. So I'm trying to button that up in the near future, and should see that go online in the month of April. So another exciting aspect of the project to be able to occupy. So phase two progress, we started abatement as planned on 2/25. So they've been doing asbestos abatement throughout the building, kind of working their way through systematically, taking out all the hazardous materials. So that's been going well. We did submit a non-traditional work plan, which is a little different procedure for asbestos abatement, where you don't remove materials in full containment, but they allow for you to take materials out, do bulk loading of it, and basically, wet it down, keep it clean and safe as you're removing asbestos material. So we're waiting on that approval from the DEP, and then they can continue with that particular activity of bulk loading of some of the concrete and bricks that have ACM material on it. So all the perimeter fencing and erosion control is complete. So they're really buttoned up phase two. It's very much an active work site now. Lots of heavy equipment on site, kind of moving, shifting things around. The pre-demolition activities are in progress. So they started some of the salvage activities. They're clearing debris out of the existing school. They've started clearing and grubbing on site, just taking down vegetation and whatnot. They started stripping topsoil as well. So they're trying to prep prep the site and get it ready for demolition to commence. So we're looking building demolition, as soon as we get the demo permit in hand, we'll be able to start. So we're nearly there for commencing demolition sometime in early April. It should be any day now. So that'll be the next big thing. We'll start taking down the building. So. And that's really all we had for a construction update. You know, we got a schedule from CTA for phase 2 that shows, you know, everything's on track for completion in September of this year. So things are moving just fine.
And this is Tim Holt. Can you
Yep.
give me just an overview of the two things that will residents in the area will impact them? In my mind, are the demolition of the building, and that creates a certain amount of noise for a period of time, and also
Yeah.
then there's going to be a steady stream of trucks with heavy material in it going down the roads, right? Can you give me just some notion of what you think the time frame of each of those things would be?
Sure.
People ask this question.
Yeah. I think as far as demolition, I'd have to look at the schedule again. If anyone has that readily available, please speak up. But I think it's like a 6 to 8 week window for demo. So it's certainly going to be a number of pieces of equipment out there with really excavators that have the claw on them that basically crunch the building piece by piece, knock it down, start separating out materials, and then loading it into trucks and hauling it off. So there'll be some noise associated with that. There'll be some truck traffic associated with that as far as getting these demo debris off site. But that's kind of the range that you'll see for demo, is that 6 to 8 week period.
So it sounds like, if you said, you know, what you'll see and notice perhaps is through April through say May, to be safe, you're going to notice a period where there's going to be increased probably noise related to the demolition, and then there are going to be FEMA trucks on the road during that period also carrying the stuff away. Is that a fair statement? Yeah.
That is fair. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's-
Ian, I
yes,
have the schedule open.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Jonathan, if you were gonna,
No, go
but
ahead, go ahead.
it's fair to say, just to be safe, May 1, but they should be completing the building demolition by April 18th is what their schedule says. But if we want to just give a buffer, through the end of April.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. I just think when people start to hear it, they say, how long is this going to go? And then if you give a good answer, then I think that's fine.
Yeah. Basically, the month of April will be noisy and trucks.
Okay. Yeah.
Tim,
So,
I know-
less than what I was saying.
Yeah, I think Vinny's been talking with some of the abutters already. So Vinny Miller from Hill. So I think there's some great communication already started. And I also know back from when we broke ground and all the truck traffic then, I think and I'm kind of reminding everybody, we've said this as I say it, that we are planning to divert the trucks to the main roads. They were all using GPS and cutting through all neighborhoods and back streets. And I think we've committed to not do that again because we did get complaints, rightfully so. So just a reminder to the Hill and SMMN teams, we need to remind the vendors of that.
Absolutely.
See your hand up. Charlie?
Hi, yeah, I had a question about commissioning. I think we may have discussed this already, but I'm wondering what the commissioning schedule is, or how much commissioning time we're going to have after building completion to sort through, operational issues and energy issues and tuning and things of that sort. This came up in a discussion I had with Martine over the document that I just finished up. She asked the question, so what are you doing for commissioning? And I said, well, I couldn't remember the amount of time that we had decided on, but she said, well, 1.5 to 2 years is a advisable amount of time from, and I'm not sure she was speaking for SMMA directly, but she said, this is what SMMA considers to be an intelligent amount of time to be, continuing with a commissioning contract. So it'd be good to kind of get back up to speed on what we're doing with commissioning if we could.
Can jump in here. We actually did have a commissioning meeting yesterday with the contractor and their subs to work through the remaining open items on basically the commissioning punch list on CX Alloy. The intent is that the commissioning agent will be on site probably one more time before April vacation, and then again during April vacation. They're going to start to be looking at trends on the BMS, the building management system, and start collecting data for periods of, a month at a time, 2 months at a time, basically making sure everything's operating and set as it's supposed to. And then throughout the next, I believe it's the period you stated, 1.5 to 2 years, they do basically operations-based commissioning where they're checking in on the BMS and making sure that systems are continuing to operate how they're supposed to.
So we'll get reports then during that period.
Yep.
That detail the extent to which we're really getting conformance to the goals and objectives and things of that sort.
Yep.
Right?
Every time they do a site visit. Yep.
Okay, well, that's good. So so you're saying 1.5 to 2 years? Is it 2 years? Or
I'll have to confirm the exact time. I know we have, for instance, a 2-year warranty on the new school. Just whether or not the commissioning coincides with that, I'll have to confirm.
So 2 years would be great in my perspective. The more time we have, the better. But would love to hear from you on that, of course. So
Will do.
Yeah, Charlie, I actually I shared a document. I apologize, I didn't copy you on it, but I sent Matt Root a summary doc that had all the post occupancy services.
okay,
that we bought from the
good.
commissioning agent. So I can forward that to you.
That'd be good.
Yep.
Okay, I have one question. Is there any plan, Lori or Justin, to commemorate or acknowledge the coming down of Sanborn? I don't want to add another thing to anybody's plate, but if there's some simple way that we can, I don't know, maybe through the bridge or something, some of our favorite memories of the Sanborn gym floor, or, just wondering.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, Justin had some, and he's not on this morning. I'm actually at the middle school. The kids are just coming in. So just so you all feel the fruits of your labor. He had some visions of getting some audio recorded memories from alumni of the old schools, and he just couldn't get it all done. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything in time before the demolition. But we can keep it on the radar. Certainly, we've anecdotally heard a lot of stories. I know that day we opened the building up for surplus, people were coming just to look around and showing me the chair they sat in 7th grade. So there's a lot of stories to be gathered. I think we just need the time and bandwidth to do it. So it's a good point, Pat.
Yeah, there was a science room window my son climbed out of during one class that I probably should have tried to somehow memorialize. Okay, great. Well, this is very exciting.
Yeah, Peabody too. We don't talk about that as much because it's still up, but as the schools vacate, and we have some cleaning to do over there before we come out, but that's got the same memories and significance to the community. So we're going to want to document both. So is Peabody in our project? Or Peabody is under the school. We had a little, talk with the town about how to transfer Peabody. We've agreed as the schools to keep it on our watch till June 30th. So that means we're paying the utilities, and we have a little bit of custodial support swinging by regularly enough to know that everything's fine. The town will take ownership June 30th. There's a formal town meeting warrant that needs to be approved. So that's why June made sense. And it's part of their discussions on land and space opportunities in town, what to do next.
Oh, I've got some memories of Peabody. Long time ago.
In a way, it's worked out quite well. We needed a little bit of a floater space as we moved out of Sanborn and had to clear out completely, and had some things that we weren't quite ready to figure out what to do with. So there's a little bit of stuff staged at Peabody that we just needed a little breathing space. So in a lot of ways, it worked out just perfect. So.
Great. Okay. Anything else from you, Ian?
Nope, that's all I had.
I understand that the building sign is up, and I wondered if anybody had a picture of that. I have not gotten over there. It's on the
It
other
is.
side of Route 2 from me, so.
Yeah, they finished it last week. I'm happy to take a picture when I drive out of here later. It looks fantastic. Really well done.
Well, this is just awesome, and thank you for all your work, everybody, getting us to here. Is there new business?
Pat, I just wanted to bring up, we had a little email exchange, you, me, and Don, about the soaring costs of construction. Lexington's got a high school project on the books for $660 million. And I just don't know if there's some communication, and partly I know Laura's on from the bridge. I think there's a story to tell there of, I think we got in before it exploded more than we thought it had already exploded. So
Yeah.
I just don't know if we want to tackle that informational piece. Maybe Heather's communications too. There's definitely some, and I know the professionals on know more than I do, but things have skyrocketed since our bids went out. And we thought that was bad. So it just feels like it might be worth saying the timing did matter. And we saved a lot of money by getting it done when we did. So just a nugget I'm dropping out there.
I think it's a pretty critical nugget. I mean, I think for all municipalities as they're contemplating doing big projects like this, it's a cautionary tale. It's not always going to happen, but timing does matter.
Yeah, it's Jen, I think $1,000 square foot-ish around now.
For, yeah, I mean, in Massachusetts, sure, yep.
And we're at 5 something.
Yep.
So it is a story to tell, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Laura,
pulled
you
up
mentioned
the-
communications.
I pulled up the
If you
chart.
can get me a snippet or something, Alexa, and I can get that out, even posting or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, Ian and Jen, if you've got anything handy, and we'll check in with Dawn too, but that
That would be
Lexington
great.
number is breathtaking, right?
That
And they're
is-
getting 100 million from MSBA, and they're still gonna have to fund 550 million on the town.
Wow.
I mean, it's
The MSBA chart is pretty good on,
great point, Charlie.
yeah, I mean, they show yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's
Nice move.
there's Lexington where you were speaking about earlier. So
And that's before the tariffs, folks.
Yeah,
Who knows what's,
the really crazy ones are the technical high schools.
yeah.
The
yeah.
technical high,
Yeah.
they're off the charts, yeah.
So this chart shows how brilliant we are.
Yes.
There you go, Charlie.
Exactly.
I'd just like to add, I think I said back when we were talking about all this, I was like, this is a deal, guys, because I could see these numbers going up. So it's crazy. And I think our town timed it perfectly and got a great school for our money.
Ian, are we on that chart somewhere? No.
yeah, that's what I was trying to find.
No, it's not an MSBA
No.
project.
Oh,
guys.
that's right.
This
Oh,
is
that's
an
right.
MSBA.
Of course,
You're
we're
right.
not on
Yeah.
that chart.
We
Yeah.
were 550, if I recall, 550, 560 a square foot, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, we're somewhere in here. So
Well,
Wow.
So we're close to a group
Big
of
change.
peers, right?
At the
What was
time,
that?
we were, yeah, Charlie.
At the
that's-
time,
At the
yeah.
time, yeah, that's probably the point to make. All right, well, thank you. I just wanted to put that on the radar for further communication.
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Definitely.
Okay, then shall we move to public comment? Oh, Wilson, I see your hand up.
Hi, thanks, everybody. I just had a question about Charlie's apparently great report on sustainability. There was a Concord CAN, which is the Climate Action Network group meeting the other day, and this was a really hot topic being asked to the candidates running. As everyone knows, in Concord, there's an election coming up. And I wondered if there is an element regarding the sustainability goals that have been achieved with the school that could mention or tie back into the cost. It sounds like the cost is a bargain comparatively what's happened now, but I know that we made decisions as a town to spend what we spend, and some of that was driven by those sustainability. So I guess that's sort of question or comment number one. It might be good to mention that it was these incredible things we've accomplished by having a net zero ready school did come at a price tag, and now maybe you could even add in that price tag was way under what everyone else is seeing. So I guess that's sort of a comment, not really a question. But the question I had for the group was, one of the curses and blessings of listening to so many of these meetings by you guys doing such incredible work over all these years is, and I'm sure you have the same reaction. I notice, the lack of texturing on the concrete and all those conversations that were had. And one I noticed was in the drawings that are still up around town. It shows those cables on the front with those beautiful greeneries growing up and the plantings to cover that now untextured concrete on the front of the building where you come in, or when you're downstairs and you look up and you see it. And the question I had is there any plan for or thought about, or maybe I've missed a meeting where you talked about adding in at maybe with a fundraising goal, some of those aesthetic elements that were taken off, for good reason and by vote and discussion back in, that would have a significant potential aesthetic impact. That's the question. Did you hear me, Pat? You're
Yeah, I
looking at me
did.
strangely.
And
I
I'm
don't
trying to
mind
remember
hopping.
those, I don't have an answer for that. But and I don't see anybody else.
Yeah, Pat, I guess I'll just jump in. I'm kind of waiting for the spring to come so we can actually see what we have, because it's really hard to tell now as the winter fades away and it's all brown and, still snow residuals. I think it's a good question, Wilson. I think as we see what the grounds really look like, and the blossoming of whatever planting got done comes to life, I'm curious to see what we notice is lacking or missing or beautiful and make decisions from there.
Yeah, it sounds, Wilson, like you're asking if is the building going to look like the renderings, the early renderings of the building. And I suspect in all building projects, you do want to kind of wait and see how it settles into the landscape and make
Yeah,
some
I
decisions.
guess a more blunt way of asking it, and I think I was being careful in my question, is if there's money left over and you guys have done such a great job, is there any consideration of adding back in some of the things that were cut off before we knew what the total would be at the end? And maybe there is unexpected things that pop up. And I know we want to kick back as much as we can to the town by way of unborrowed money. It's not cash back. But I guess that's the real discussion. And some of those things, like I said, is the curse of the blessing. I'm sure you guys all have the same reactions as say, oh man, I remember that 40 minutes on those cables and plantings, and wouldn't that look amazing right there? That's maybe a more direct way of asking the question.
Thanks, Wilson. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Any more public comment? So under next steps, what's the projection for how long, or do we have a projection for how long this committee will continue to meet? What are the guideposts for that? I don't think I have that in my mind.
When all the bills are paid, Pat.
That's what you said, and that is, so that's what okay,
You're in it
that's
till the very end.
Okay.
Yeah.
And typically, how long would that take after a project
In
of
my
this size?
previous district, and obviously Hill and SMMA Shui, and it was almost a year.
Okay.
Takes about a year for closeout.
typical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love these 7:30 meetings. So.
Yeah.
That was the high school too. The high school was
Yeah.
about a year after the.
Okay. Okay. Great.
So that's the first
Keep
year.
asking me that.
The first year of the commissioning will be still meeting. Right?
Probably. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
And our next meeting, Ian?
Next meeting is April 17th.
Well, you'll let us
Please.
know.
Oh, there's two.
Oh,
He said it was
did you-
April 17th.
April 17th.
April 17th.
Yep.
I hear that. Okay. All right. Then if there's nothing else, shall we adjourn and get on with our day? Thank you, everybody.